Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a mid-month reading for all air signs in mid-May 2021. Hello, Gemini. Hello, Libra. Hello, Aquarius. Wherever you guys are in the world, I hope you are safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Please continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, okay? So as you guys can see, if you're familiar with my channel, I've done something different here in mid-May. I'm doing a collective reading for all three signs. And the reason for that is, some of you may know, I recently took on a new job, and that job is killing you, girl, in a good way. It's a challenging job. It's new information. It's new skills that I'm building. So I really don't have a lot of energy to do 24. I struggled to do it in April. I'm struggling to do it here in May. So to help myself, I have condensed the mids into elementals. So we're doing earth, air, fire, and water. Obviously, you guys are grouped together. So what we're going to do for your mids is we're going to look at a collective energy, an anchoring energy that affects all three of you guys by using the Black Moon astrology cards here. This is a kind of newish deck to me, but I like it. So far, I've done earth and air, or excuse me, earth and fire before you, and I like the results so far, so we're feeling good about this. So we're going to talk about that as an overall, and then we're going to break it down, so you're each going to have your own individual readings within this video. You can check down below for the timestamps if you want to jump all around, okay? So let's do the regular spiel. Again, anything you want from me, it is in the description box. The timestamps, as I just mentioned, are down there. Information on how to purchase a personal reading with me, if you are interested, is down there. Feel free to reach out. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's dormant again, because again, this job is knocking your girl sideways, but again, in a good way. I'm so grateful to have it. But if you do want to follow me on Instagram, I give you a link for that down below, okay? So let's find some collective energy for you guys. What's collectively affecting the air signs at this time in mid-May? Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Gemini. We'll talk a little bit at your reading, but just wanted to, in front of your brother and your sister signs, Aquarius and Libra, I wanted to wish you guys a happy birthday, okay? But let's see the anchoring energy for you guys collectively, all three air signs. What is affecting these three signs? What is the most prolific? Prominent, maybe is the word I want. But what is going on for the three of them? Prolific. Interesting. Prolific. They're like prolific. Okay. What is the most prolific energy? I don't know what that means. Whoa. No? Okay. Sixth house, routine. All right. Sixth house is ruled naturally by Virgo. So some of you might be dealing with a Virgo, or you have Virgo in your chart significantly. You don't have to, but let's see intuitively what we're talking about. So I'm getting, again, routine, structure, the dynamics of structure, or the dynamic of structure in your life. So some of you are reevaluating, restructuring or refocusing, moving things about. Organization. Sixth house is you're restructuring, you're realigning, like you're moving things around in your life. Gemini. So some of you got a lot of irons in the fire, maybe. So you're having trouble balancing things, or you're trying to find time, energy, effort to make better balance in your life. Now, this is oh God, I'm about to like fail like my art history here. That's Da Vinci, right? Right? So there's something about like perfection. So some of you are trying to like perfect something, make the most of something, put your, not your best foot forward, but like get the most out of something, the best. So maybe if you are restructuring in your life, maybe you're wanting to have the best of the best, purchase good things, work with great people, align yourself, or design. I'm getting this idea of designing, because again, I think it's Da Vinci. And it's a drawing, it's a sketch, right? And whatever. So I feel like some of you are creating something, and your goal is to have it be perfect. Now, is that overreaching? Is that even plausible or feasible? I don't know. And this is card 30, so that, you know, boils down to a 3 for the numerology if you're into that. Let's read a little bit about this card. We're not going to read the whole thing because these passages are very long. Hold on, they're wanting me to stop here. Also, look at the card, how there's like a bunch of darkness in the majority of the card, and like only David, right? I think that's David, right? Oh God, again, failing art history here. Anyway, it's like just a focal point of like light, or what can be seen, and then what's above it is almost like a mandala. So it's like trying to see yourself out of a dark situation, something like that. Okay, that's why they stopped me, right? Yes, they're like, okay, cool, you're good. Read from the book. All right, so yeah, there we go. You must change your usual way of looking at things. The 6th house is ruled by mutable sign Virgo and the planet Mercury. In the horoscope, it is the area of routine and everyday life. It is not so much a dazzling place as it has to do with the ordinary. It also rules the body, differently from the 1st house, and specifically your health, especially digestive tract. This house reminds us what we should do to maintain good health, and in this, diet figures in. Anything that comes under alternative health or various approaches to strengthening the body and supporting a healthy lifestyle all falls under the category of the 6th house. The 6th house is all about duty, responsibility, and gainful employment. It shows how hard you work, how organized you are, how much you worry, and what you do on a daily 9-to-5 basis. This is why it is also looked upon as the house of the job, how you earn a living as an everyday citizen. What this card turns up, a job change is, when this card shows up, turns up, a job change is possible. Okay, so that's where the restructuring, I think, is coming through. It's like rewriting your everyday routines, yes? All right, so let's jump into it. We're going to start with Gemini. So Gemini, which deck for Gemini? Please show me. Oh, that was a very hard pull to the Haunted House Tarot deck. All right, let's get into it for Gemini. Related to this overall energy, what are the mid-month messages pertaining to Gemini? What are their messages? Show me. Specifically related to Gemini, how does the 6th house energy that we just discussed relate to Gemini specifically? That's good, thank you. Okay, something came to the table there. Something else, kind of side position there. And the 10 of Cups, okay. All right, so first card out was, World. And a lot of ending, Gemini. So, World card 21, Wheel of Fortune, side position, we're probably keeping it is what this feels like, and then the 10 of Cups. All right, so with these two cards, Capricorn and Sagittarius, but also the fixed sign, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. They might apply to your life in some way. Gemini, they don't have to. Oh, and by the way, guys, happy birthday. Real quick, before we dive deeper into that. Happy birthday. Celebrate your day. Have a good time. I support. I love. I'm going to go live for you guys on June 13th at 7 p.m. here on the channel, okay, Gemini? So if you want to be here for that, ask questions to me. I will do it live for you. No problems. Happy birthday. Please join me, okay? So, World, and it's a lot of like coming to an end, coming to a close, turning, hands of the clock are turning. And I have to be honest, Gemini, I think this ending is coming because of what we talked about with the 6th house just at the top of the video. as you restructure your life, redefine things, rewrite things in your life, or they're saying rewritten for you, they keep going for you. So for some of you, it's against your will, it's against your desire that things are being shuffled about or rewritten or restructured in some type of way. Some of you are very much like not a fan of that. Regardless of whether you're on board or not, I feel as though, Gemini, it feels like you've learned something really big here, or potentially, some of you potentially, because it's in side position. You have potentially learned something very huge. Others of you, you haven't learned it at all. And you will repeat the cycle, is what they're saying. And you're like, well, how can I repeat if it's ending? You'll rebuild and you'll start again on a new track, and you'll do or you'll experience similar things. And that'll be, again, it'll come around again. There's a group here. That's why it's in side position, because some of you are very much on board with the lesson learning. Again, some of you have initiated the ending and the transition and the restructure and all of that, and you're cool with it and you're on board with it. And that group I'm not really concerned about. So let's address that group first here. The group that's aware, you initiated, you're on board, you're going with the flow, whatever big lessons you needed to learn, you're learning them, or you're digesting them. Haha, digestion, because it talked about a digestive tract. So maybe some of you have learned big lessons because of a health scare. Maybe something happened to you or someone close to you that affected their physical health, and that was sort of like your wake-up call. This first group that is more aware and on top of it, I think you're going to find yourself transition to this Ten of Cups a lot easier. Ten of Cups is, happily ever after, dreams come true. So I think you're getting a reprieve if you've quote-unquote suffered through something, or you've struggled through something, you've been challenged with something, yes? And that's coming from the world energy, that Capricorn Saturnian energy there. So if you have taken a licking, if life and circumstances have knocked you on your ass, Gemini, and you're aware of it and you understand your role in it, you understand how you contributed, it's, and again, you don't have to agree with me, but I think it's the beginning steps to being an enlightened person, or having an enlightened sense of self, when you realize you contribute to whatever happens in your life. Whether you believe good things happen to you or bad things happen to you, you contribute no matter what happens, yes? If you're on that track, I think you're going to find yourself in a happier spot. Even though you may have lost some things, even though you may have suffered through some things, I think you're going to find yourself making, again, you influence and you contribute to whatever happens in your life, whatever reality that you're experiencing. So I think that first group, you're fine, even if it sucked to get there, even though it was difficult to get to this point, or transition through something, this restructure that you're going through, or this rebalancing, things moving around, okay? The second group of Geminis, who may or may not be watching this video, not so much. That's why this is side position again, because some within the collective energy are not on board. They do not like. They have, like I said a moment ago, a victim mentality. They don't think they contribute to what happens to them. They don't think anything they do or don't do factors into what they experience, and that's completely not true. But again, you can disagree. You don't have to agree. That group is very much, life is unfair. These people are unfair to me. They don't treat me well. This situation was crappy to begin with. I didn't get out of it what I needed to get out of it, so I'm going to scrap this as a failure. There's just like this very dejected, negative perspective that someone in either the Gemini collective energy is experiencing. And when I say someone, not just one person, like several people, or it's someone that you're dealing with, Gemini, if you're on either side of the Gemini energy, the split that I'm feeling. Someone is just like, they don't feel that things are in their control. even though they very well could be in their control. It's like they don't want to take accountability. The long and the short of it, they don't want to take accountability. And, you know, sixth house Virgo energy is very much about accountability. It's very much, well, this plus this equals that. That's it. There's no other way to work that equation. Yes? And this is an energy I'm feeling down here that says, there's other, no, I just disagree. I don't think it was fair. And the reason this didn't work out is because, well, he said and she said and they did and who did and blah, 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 blah. And pointing all these fingers instead of saying, you know what, I didn't show up with this. I didn't say that. I didn't do this when I was supposed to. Or when I did that thing, it was actually the wrong thing to do. And I apologize. This is like everybody else's fault but mine. And no, that's, so sixth house, take inventory, take stock. If you're in that latter half or that second grouping of Geminis and you're watching this video, take a reality check. You know, be very honest with yourself. And if you can't be honest with yourself, surround yourself with people who can be honest with you. You know, I mentioned a lot of signs here because, again, Capricorn, Sagittarius, and then all the fixed signs. Find a friend who's one of those signs. Maybe, you know, maybe just like take a stab at it. Like, hey, my Taurus friend, or hey, my Scorpio friend, let me talk to you. You know, give me the honest truth. You know, or my Capricorn friend, or my whoever. If you can't tell yourself the truth, if you can't hold yourself accountable, find other people to do it for you. Because I'm feeling that, again, what did I say? It will repeat. For those who are feeling like, oh, it just always happens to me and I always end up with the short end of the stick, something has to change in the sauce, Mary. Something has to change here. And if you are the common denominator in all of your relationships, in all of your jobs, in all of your attempts to do or have something, right? And you're the common denominator, you are always factored into the equation, you might be the issue. Okay? Gemini, that is your reading for mid-May. Again, I'm going to be live for you guys on June 13th for your birthday. If you want to join me for that, please do. Yeah, thank you. We're going to move on now and do Libra. So Libra's reading, which deck for Libra's mid-month reading, please? Ooh, Libra, come on. Yeah, okay, we got it. That was a little bit of a struggle. All right, Libra. Mid-May 2021, related back to the sixth house collective. Anchoring energy for all air signs. What messages do you have for Libra? Show me, please. For Libra's mid-May. Like, I've never been, like, on drugs before, but, like, it's coming through, like, this idea of drugs, high, high, high. So, maybe some of you are indulging in that. I don't know. Anyway, for Libra, please, in mid-May, show me. No. It's interesting. All face down. Okay. All right. And let me see. So they did want that turned. Unlike Gemini, they wanted that in the upright, it looks like. So, Daughter of Fire, Mother of Earth, and the High Priestess. Okay. Fire, Earth, so Earth signs and fire signs. Fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Could be dealing, don't have to be. High Priestess, secondary major for Cancer. Also sometimes associated with Pisces. You can be dealing with any of those signs or not at all. Okay. I feel like some of you Libras, you're going to have issues with females in your life. Now, that's very rare that I would say that, but like this is striking me very hard. This daughter of fire and this mother of earth, and like the life cycle of a woman or females period in your life or for yourself, right? From young adulthood or even childhood, since it's a daughter, aka a page, and then up to a mother, which is a queen. So I feel like some of you might be taking stock or restructuring or under maybe not understanding. Okay, life cycle. Yeah. So maybe some of you are interested in medicine, or you yourself are interested in your own health journey over your life. Maybe you have illnesses or conditions that need to be monitored from when you were born up until your adulthood, right? Or you're dealing with someone like that, or you're interested, because sixth house can also be about studying. And nursing. Thank you. I will always say that any other damn reading. So nursing also happens in the sixth house. So some of you might be studying to be nurses, and particularly focused on women's health, perhaps. Just throwing that out there. But aside from vocational job or, any health concerns you have for yourself or someone else, I think the natural knowing, aka feminine intuition, whether you're masculine or feminine, whether you're male or female, we all have the ability to be intuitive. But I feel like for some of you, the idea of feminine intuition, that phrasing or whatever that might mean to you as I say it, is like blowing your mind. For some of you, you might discover that you come from a line of psychics, right? So High Priestess is higher intuitive knowledge. It's knowing all the things without saying you know the things, or possibly because you lack the language to say what you know, right? So that's what I understand about psychics or people with... I'm not a psychic myself, but I've been told a few times I have precognition. It's different than being a psychic in a nuanced way that I don't even understand. So I don't call myself a psychic at all. But I am precognitive in that I can see like a snippet of something, and it's like 2 seconds in my mind, but I remember it. Like literally, I can see something, I see 2 seconds. And maybe it's like what you're seeing like right now, a hand, like a disembodied hand, or like the bracelets or something. And there's a detail, and it stays in my mind, and it's weeks, months, years down the line that it plays into my reality, or it plays into something someone else tells me that's going on in their life. And I'm like, oh, I kind of knew about that, but I didn't know at the time what the hell that meant. So some of you might be experiencing this, which is you might be coming to the realization that you yourself are psychic or precognitive. They're different in my estimation. You might think they're the same, whatever. Or maybe you're studying, because again, sixth house could be studying. Maybe some of you are studying tarot, teaching yourselves or taking lessons, because as you see, she's a mystic, but she's also using the tools. Where's my thing? There it is. Oh, there she goes. She was in focus. If I was patient enough. Anyway, she's got tarot cards in front of her. So some of you could be learning tarot, maybe learning from an older person. Doesn't have to be female, by the way, but a feminine person, who has the skills that you desire to have yourself. Or like I said, like some of you are like, your world is like cracking open in a certain way because you're realizing, hey, my mom and my mom's mom, or my auntie, or even my uncle, or whoever, they've had similar abilities or, insights, and they would just like say things and then like it came true, and like you're like putting these pieces together. So it's like inherited for some of you. You might come from a lineage of mystics that you are possibly unaware of, or it's unofficial, or unacknowledged. Let's say unacknowledged, right? Because maybe in your family or maybe in your culture or wherever, it's taboo to speak of such things or to even conceive of such things. Yes? And that is, to me, causing friction for you, Libra, because sixth house, again, is about daily routines. It's about what's practical, pragmatic, what's realistic, what is very much a part of reality. Yes. And what I'm talking about down here, with possibly for yourself or in your family lineage, is not, realistic. It's not, quote unquote, scientific. Not that sixth house or Virgo is all about science, but Mercury very much is logic, very much, what we can measure and what we can quantify and what we can, that type of thing. So I'm feeling, again, like there's this friction here that your reality, whatever it is, your job, your personal life, your friends, your family, your professional life, whatever, doesn't jive, does not mix well with these urges, nudges, pushes you feel towards what is more esoteric, what is more spiritual, what is more, again, taboo, in your culture, in your society, in your family, whatever. You may, because I'm getting it from, I love, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. Like the way this girl looks, she's just like, nobody's going to tell me what I can and cannot do. So you or someone else in the family may have embraced this difference, this idea of being other, this idea, and that, this idea of difference and other can be beyond psychic or spiritual inclination, right? It could just be difference of political opinion. It could be difference of, whatever. But there's certainly a potential that you or someone in your family, in your lineage, in your friendship circles who is a rebel with this daughter of fire energy coming through. And going back to what I was saying earlier about kind of charting and noticing the progress of the development of women's lives or a potential specific woman in your life. Some of you might be documenting a person you know personally, or maybe in your studies, maybe in your courses, you are documenting and reporting on a woman who in her younger years was a rebel, very much not cut from the same cloth as her tribe, as her people, as her family, and she kind of made her own way. And maybe now some of you might be interviewing this person, whether you know her or not, you know what I mean? So Libra, your reading is about you, but it's also about how, like, your interest in how your experience, what you know, what you are seeking to know, is reflected or seen or patterned after other people, if that makes sense, okay? Libra, that is your reading. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, leave all the fun stuff down below for me, okay? We're going to move on now and do Aquarius. So for Aquarius, which deck, please, for Aquarius? Yes. Yes? Yeah. All right, so we're going to do this guy for Aquarius. Messages for Aquarius. Mid-May. Related back to 6th house. How it affects the collective of air signs, please, for Aquarius. Give me insight into their messages. Show me. Mid-May for Aquarius. Good. They say that's good. Aquarius, please show me messages for them. Mid-May. All right. Is that 2? Oh, that's more than 2. 1. Oh, that's a lot. But I put that down. There was like 4 here. Oh, there was 5. Bottom. Take bottom. Okay. And then put these to the side. Okay. Thank you. All right, so what do we have? And I did that for someone earlier. I did that earlier for somebody. Was that Taurus I did that for? I think so. Anyway, so Aquarius, hello. Moon, Magician, Two of Pentacles. Moon, Pisces, Magician, Gemini, and Virgo. You could be dealing with any of those signs or not at all. It is a general. Don't hold on to it too tightly, okay? Out of a bad situation is what they're getting me. Out of a bad situation. Very interesting. I've not, when I get my decks, I don't like study the artwork anymore. I used to when I first got decks, and I don't do that anymore. So, because I like to keep discovering things instead of sitting here going, what are all the details of the card? Anyway, so the woman who's under the water, she looks like she's part dolphin, part mermaid or something, but then also, like, because of the lighter blue portions, like, it's giving me this vibe of like an iceberg, right? And what is that thing that we say about icebergs? It's like what we see on the surface is not everything, because there's so much more of an iceberg that's beneath the surface. So there's something about depths and living in the depths, because what do mermaids or dolphins do? They live underwater, right? Or they live within the water, or whatever, however you're supposed to say that. So I'm getting the sense like something has lain and thrived or lived on subconsciously for you, Aquarius, or someone that you're dealing with. That could be fantasy. It could be escapism. In some cases, because the moon can talk about mental conditions or illnesses. So I dare say this is not a diagnosis, cannot diagnose. I'm not a doctor. Don't take this to the bank. But I'm getting the sense that maybe somebody is schizophrenic or has, what is that? Bipolar? Yeah, BPD, right? So I feel someone has like a rich, very influential subconscious or subterranean mental condition, something like that. Like, I'm sensing a person who perhaps cannot function well because of what goes on with them biochemically, physiologically, all those things, okay? That's not for everybody, or it's going to be in different degrees to different intensities, or just to different levels, okay? But ultimately, the moon in terms of tarot talks about what we don't see, what's beneath the surface, what we can't perceive here on the top of, on the Earth's surface, right? We can't perceive or understand what goes on inside the depths of the ocean. We simply can't. Modern humans, we've only begun to scratch the surface of what lives down in the depths of the ocean, yes? And even then, are we supposed to go down there? My estimation is we're probably not, but whatever. So I feel someone here has a very rich internal space that they struggle with how to mold that or meld that with the top side of their life, the conscious side of their life, the realities of their life, which again, sixth house is about realities. It's about your everyday life, your 9 to 5, the things that you get into a routine in doing, with the word routine there, right? So what you do on your everyday basis. So beyond the idea for some where this is an issue about mental illness or emotional disorders or mental disorders, what have you, for others of you, it's simply a matter of not being able to live your authentic life, or struggling with, is my subconscious life my authentic self, and is my topside self, my earth-based self, my earth surface self, the real fantasy? Sort of like the Matrix, right? If you know the trilogy, the Matrix series, there's a lot of philosophy in that, right? Which is basically, what is reality? When you're asleep, maybe that's reality, and when you're awake, maybe that's your dream. There's like a topsy-turvy kind of feel here, and I think that's reflected also with the Magician and the Two of Pentacles. Now, what did I say at the beginning? What did I say? I said out of a bad situation or something like that. So I feel someone seeks to be out of a quote unquote bad situation. Could be poor mental health, and not saying, not, and that's not a blame, it's not to me, it's not me saying, well, just fix it and snap your fingers and get out of it or something like that. But maybe someone knows they're chronically depressed. Maybe somebody knows or suspects they do have some type of mental or emotional disorder, which they haven't been diagnosed for, or maybe they have been, but they've been neglectful in taking care of themselves. Who knows? So that could be the bad situation. Other bad situations, family relationships, friend relationships, your job, what have you. The things that you, again, are part of your daily routine that aren't actually speaking to your soul, speaking to your desires, perhaps. Okay, so if you work a 9 to 5, if you're punching a clock every day but you want to be an artist, or you're punching a clock every day and maybe you want to be a sex worker, I don't know, it's a whole new frontier out here. There's something about what your reality is and what your dream life or your subconscious life is, and how those two things just don't mix. Now, the issue is going to be how to make them mix. How can I be a part of society, modern society, but at the same time live my life as an artist? Number one, artists have always, of all types, been able to find livings. It's a farce for us to teach or influence people to think you can't have a career in the arts. Because number one, the arts is huge. It could be music, dance, it could be design, it could be anything, right? And even with someone who's like an illustrator, I love that people shit on people being illustrators or art, or people who draw or paint or anything like that. There are guilds. Those people, when you're in a guild, when you're in a union and you find a job, you have guaranteed. Oh, please. So this idea of you can't have a fulfilled, sustained, stable living in the arts is erroneous. That's not true. Okay. So starving artist, not true. I mean, it is true for some people, but if you want to go about it in a quote unquote smart way, you can. So I feel with the Magician and the Two of Pentacles, it's trying to meld what is fantasy with what is reality. And I'm sensing a struggle, Aquarius, mental issues aside, I'm sensing a struggle. Maybe it comes from here. King of Cups, Death, Rebirth, and then the Page of Swords. It might, starting over. It would require starting over for some of you. That's the struggle. Now, that kind of makes sense, right? King of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Death, Rebirth, Scorpio, Page of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This would require starting over. For some of you, you're already well established, right? And I'm reading this backwards. In this culture, we read left to right, right? So in my estimation, I'm reading this backwards. So some of you would have to take a step backwards. You would have to resign from your day, your 9 to 5 job and commit yourself to doing whatever, going into a different field. Maybe you don't want to be an artist. Maybe you've studied to be a doctor. Maybe you're top tier in a law firm, something like that. And you want to start over and now go into, I don't know, like culinary or something like that. Maybe you want to open a restaurant, right? Something like that. You have to go backwards. You'd have to go from being a king back to being a page. And Page of Swords is a student, is someone who studies. She's got the book in her hand. She's got all those bright ideas above her. So it is requiring, that's where the struggle is. It requires some type of sacrifice. It requires some type of release, death, rebirth in the middle there from what we already know. If you are struggling with your health and your wellness, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, and to crack the surface, to come up from beneath the waves, it's going to take, you got to swim and you got to, and gasp for air and do all that stuff. This is not a cakewalk, whatever is being asked of you. However, you have the potential to handle this with the Magician here, Two of Pentacles, logical, sound, methodical, if not practiced and patient decision making. So this isn't going to be some overnight story, some overnight success, or some overnight solution. This will require some type of effort on your part or on the part of someone else. But I think, how it's going to restructure your day-to-day life is the crux, because I'm not sensing it. Well, not that I'm not sensing, but reality would say not every Aquarius who's resonating with this message is a solo dolo person. You live on your own, you answer to yourself, you're responsible only for yourself. You might have children, you might have a spouse, you might have relatives, you might have friends, you might have a multitude of things that requires and asks of you. You know, you are indebted to other people and situations. So just to rewrite this for yourself, if you're a solo person, is much easier in some regards than it is for a person who has other types of attachments, okay? Aquarius, that's your reading for mid-May. If you like this, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. This is the end of the entire video for the collective air reading for mid-May. Again, guys, if you're here, I appreciate you. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe. If you want to get at me for a personal reading, you can look down below and find out how to do so, okay? I'll be back soon to do your June readings. Everybody's going to get an individual sign reading for June. For the mids, I might go back to doing the group messages. I might, do the 12. I'm not sure. It depends on time and energy and effort and all that good stuff, okay? I thank you all so much for watching. Take care.